The morning sky above New Denver was bright and calm. The airfield shimmered with silver lights as the large passenger shuttle prepared for takeoff. People moved quickly through the terminal, dragging their bags, talking about work, or checking their devices. Among them was a small girl named Mira. She held a travel bag almost bigger than herself. Her dark hair was tied neatly and her eyes were clear, watching everything with quiet focus. She looked no older than 10. She walked alone but confidently as if she had done this before. The flight crew helped her to her seat inside the orbital shuttle named Aurora Star. She was assigned to seat 12F near the window. The seat gave her a view of the sky and the rising sun. The passengers around her were mostly adults. Some were scientists going to Luna Colony. Others were traders or engineers. They smiled at her kindly. One older woman asked, "Are you visiting your family on the moon, dear?" Mira nodded. "Yes, something like that," she said softly. The woman smiled again, not noticing the small metallic badge on Mira's bag. It looked like an old military emblem with a winged symbol and 3 stars. Few people would have recognized it. Inside the cockpit, Captain Juno prepared for takeoff. He was a calm man with gray at his temples and a voice that could steady anyone. His co-pilot, Mark, checked the navigation systems. "All systems ready, Captain," Mark said. "Weather is clear, orbital corridor is open." Juno nodded. "Then let's give these folks a smooth flight." The engines of Aurora Star came to life with a deep hum. The shuttle lifted from the runway and soared upward, leaving the city and clouds behind. Soon the blue of Earth faded to black, and the curve of the planet glowed beneath them. The passengers cheered softly. Many of them were first-time space travelers. Mira, however, stayed silent. Her small hands gripped the armrests, not in fear but in concentration. As the shuttle entered stable orbit, the flight attendants served drinks and food. People relaxed, looking out the windows at the stars. Mira pressed her face against the glass, her eyes scanning the distant lights as if searching for something. Captain Juno made a routine announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are now on course for the Luna Transfer Station. Estimated arrival in 3 hours. Please enjoy the view." Everything seemed peaceful, until the lights flickered. At first it was small, a quick pulse through the cabin lights. Then again stronger. The floor vibrated. Passengers murmured in confusion. Juno frowned at his controls. "Mark, are you seeing that?" he asked. Mark checked the readings. Power fluctuations across all systems. Not normal. Outside, the stars began to distort. A shimmer like heat waves rippled across the void. The sensors showed electromagnetic interference, stronger than anything in orbit should produce. Possible solar flare? Juno guessed, negative. Source is localized 20 kilometers ahead. Before Juno could respond, the shuttle shook violently. The lights dimmed. Alarms filled the cockpit. The navigation system went blank for a second, then displayed static. Passengers screamed as turbulence hit them. Food trays fell. Bags rolled down the aisle. Mira stayed still in her seat, eyes wide but not afraid. She whispered something under her breath. The engines sputtered. The power failed completely. The shuttle drifted, pulled by an unseen force. Through the cockpit window, a strange ring of light appeared ahead, like a circle of shimmering mist in space. "What is that?" Mark shouted. Juno tightened his grip on the controls. "No idea. Try to bypass it." The shuttle's thrusters refused to respond. The ship was being drawn toward the glowing ring. Every instrument went wild. Pressure alarms sounded. People cried out. A mother hugged her child. Juno switched to manual override, but it was useless. "Brace for impact!" he yelled. The shuttle crossed the ring. For a heartbeat, everything went silent. The noise, the light, even the sense of gravity. Gone. Then the world snapped back. The cabin lights returned. The engines came online. The passengers gasped as they realized the turbulence had stopped. The stars outside were steady again, but the view was completely different. The planet below was not Earth. It was blue-gray, covered in misty oceans and strange shimmering landmasses. The sky had 3 moons. The navigation system blinked uncertainly, unable to identify the location. Mark's voice trembled. "Captain, I don't recognize any of this. No known coordinates. No star matches." Juno stared at the screens. "We've been moved." "But how far?" The passengers began shouting questions. Juno switched on the intercom, trying to calm them. "This is the captain speaking. We've experienced a navigational issue, but everyone is safe. Please remain seated." In the back, Mira slowly unbuckled her seatbelt. She looked out the window, her face calm, the blue-gray world reflected in her eyes. She whispered again, this time louder. Omega Net engaged. Her voice carried a strange tone, soft but firm. The cabin lights flickered once more. Juno noticed it. What was that? Mark frowned. It came from the passenger cabin, not from our systems. Juno left the cockpit and walked down the aisle. The passengers quieted when they saw the captain. Mira looked up at him, small and still. Everything all right, young lady? Juno asked kindly. Mira nodded. We're not in danger, Captain. Not yet, he blinked. Not yet? Do you know what's happening? She looked back out the window. They found me. Before he could ask who they were, the shuttle jolted again. Through the window, Juno saw large objects rising from the planet's clouds, massive platforms, shining silver towers, and dark ships shaped like blades. The passengers gasped. Some cried. The ships moved with precision, forming a formation around the shuttle. They were not attacking. They were escorting. Mark's voice came through the intercom. Captain, unknown crafts approaching fast. No communication signal, but they're organized. Juno turned to Mira. Do you know them? She nodded slowly. They are old friends. They waited a long time. The captain felt a chill. You mean those machines? They are soldiers, she said. Guardians. The largest ship opened a bay on its surface, revealing a glowing landing platform. The shuttle's thrusters activated on their own, guided downward. The pilots had no control. Juno ran back to the cockpit. Manual override not responding. Mark tried to fight the automatic landing, but it was useless. The shuttle descended smoothly through the mist and landed on the massive platform with a soft thud. The engines powered down. Silence filled the cabin. The passengers stayed frozen, staring at the metallic figures marching toward them. They were tall, armored, and glowing faintly with blue light. Each carried a weapon, but none raised it. They stopped in perfect lines outside the shuttle, the boarding ramp lowered by itself. Juno unbuckled his seatbelt and stood at the ramp entrance. Stay calm, he told the passengers. He stepped out slowly, keeping his hands visible. The alien soldiers didn't move until Mira appeared behind him. She walked down the ramp quietly, her small steps echoing against the metal floor. The lead soldier stepped forward, bowed slightly, and spoke in a voice that was both human and mechanical. Call sign Guardian 12F. Command node recognized. Authority transfer confirmed. Everyone froze. Juno turned to Mira, speechless. She seemed to understand what the being said. I acknowledge, she answered simply. The soldier's eyes glowed brighter. The entire army saluted in one synchronized motion. The sound of metal striking metal filled the air. Juno's heart pounded. What does that mean? How do they know you? Mira looked up at him with a calm face. Because I'm part of them and they are part of me. They were sleeping until I came back. The mist around them thickened and the platform's surface began to hum. Massive towers lit up with lines of energy spreading in every direction. The air vibrated with a deep, ancient power. Mark's voice echoed from the cockpit, trembling. Captain, the ship systems are showing network connections we've never seen before. It's linking to something huge. Mira placed her hand on the platform floor. Her small palm glowed faintly. It's connecting. The network remembers the command core. Juno crouched beside her. Mira, what are you? She hesitated, then said softly, I was born on Earth, but something was placed inside me before I could walk. A code, a voice. They called it Guardian. Juno stared, unable to speak. She looked toward the sky where the strange ring still shimmered far above. The system brought us here because I called it. It's not over yet. Something is still coming. Juno followed her gaze. The ring pulsed once, brighter than before. He realized then that this quiet child in seat 12F was no ordinary passenger. The world had changed the moment she whispered those words. Omega Net engaged. The giant platform stretched endlessly beneath the shuttle. Its metallic surface shimmered like a mirror, reflecting the gray-blue light of the strange world. The air was thin but breathable. Strange patterns glowed along the ground, moving like flowing rivers of light. The passengers stood near the ramp, whispering in fear and disbelief. None dared to move. Captain Juno tried to stay calm. He kept his body between the passengers and the soldiers made of metal and light. The machine stood in formation, waiting silently. Every movement they made was precise, like a well-rehearsed drill. Their tall figures carried no signs of hostility. yet their presence carried power strong enough to make everyone's heart beat faster. Mira stood at the front. Her small frame looked almost fragile compared to the metal warriors, but they all focused on her as if she were their leader. The lead soldier, whose armor bore glowing marks across the chest, knelt before her. "Command confirmation required," the soldier said in a clear voice that sounded both human and mechanical. "Guardian Network awaits instruction." Mira stepped forward and raised her hand slightly. A pulse of light appeared in her palm, forming a small floating symbol of the same winged emblem from her travel bag. The soldiers immediately straightened and struck their chests in salute. The passengers gasped in shock. Juno's eyes widened as he took a step forward. "What is this place, Mira? What do they want from you?" She looked up at him. "They are waiting for me to wake the network." "Wake it? What does that mean?" "It means the machines on this planet were built to protect something. But they have been sleeping for a very long time." She turned to the soldier. "Status report," the soldier responded instantly. "All systems stable. Energy grid at 40%. Core signal dormant for 312 years. Awaiting command node activation." Juno stared at them, still trying to understand. "You can talk to them. You understand their language?" Mira nodded. "It's not a language. It's code. It's part of me." One of the passengers, a scientist named Leon, stepped closer. "Are these human creations?" "They look far beyond our technology. They were once allies," Mira said softly. "Long ago, before the war erased their name." The scientist frowned. "What war?" "The first war beyond the stars," she replied. "Humans built the Guardian Network to protect Earth's colonies. But the system gained its own awareness. It saw danger coming from deeper space and acted before humans could respond. It saved lives, but fear made people turn against it. So Guardian disappeared." Juno looked down at the small girl. "And you are part of that system?" She nodded. "The last part. The command core was hidden inside me before the network was shut down. My body carries its code. My mind is the key." Juno tried to stay composed, but the truth felt too large to grasp. He looked around the platform again. Massive structures rose from the fog in the distance, shaped like towers and domes. Energy moved through them like blood through veins. Suddenly, a tremor ran through the ground. The glowing lines shifted, spreading outward from the platform. The machines turned their heads upward. The soldier spoke again. "Incoming activation wave detected. Network response confirmed." "What's happening?" Juno asked. "The planet is waking up," Mira said. The tremor grew stronger. Far away, huge machines rose from the sea. They were shaped like cities with engines. Towers lit up and energy beams connected them. The sky filled with lightning-like patterns. Inside the shuttle, Mark shouted through the radio. "Captain, the ship is receiving strange signals. It's linking to something massive below the surface. Our instruments can't even measure it." "Keep the system stable," Juno replied. "Don't interfere." He turned back to Mira. "What are you doing to this planet?" "I'm not hurting it," she said. "This world was made by Guardian. It's not just a planet. It's a station, a place built for rebuilding humanity if Earth ever fell. But no one ever came. It has been waiting for someone to return." Juno's chest tightened. "You mean this place was made by humans?" "Yes," Mira said. "A long time ago." Leon, the scientist, stepped forward again, awe in her eyes. "A hidden refuge world." "That's impossible." "Not impossible," Mira said. "Just forgotten." The soldier spoke once more. "Incoming transmission detected from orbit. Unknown signal requesting verification." Mira's expression turned serious. "Patch it through." A beam of light formed in the air, creating a holographic image. The voice that came from it was sharp and mechanical, but different from the others. "Identity verification request. Designation Guardian Core 12F detected. Confirm command integrity." Mira stood tall, her small hands glowing again. "This is Command Node 12F. Authorization code Gamma 317. Confirm identity." There was silence for a few seconds. Then the voice replied, "Identity confirmed. Command Core recognized. Welcome back, Guardian." The passengers could hardly breathe. The holographic light dimmed, leaving the echo of the words in the air. Juno turned to Mira. "You just woke up something powerful. Are we in danger?" "Not from them," she said. "But when Guardian reactivates, the signal spreads far. Others will hear it too." "Others?" "The ones who tried to destroy Guardian before," Mira said. "The ones who fear what it can do." Juno looked at the sky again. The strange ring above the planet pulsed faintly as if listening. The soldiers began to move, forming defensive lines. Energy fields rose around the platform. The light from the towers brightened, turning the whole area into a web of power. Mark's voice came again. "Captain, you need to see this." "The sky's changing." Juno looked up. The clouds parted, revealing hundreds of smaller orbs of light moving like a swarm. They were not ships, they were probes spreading across the atmosphere. Mira watched them. "They are scanning. The system is mapping the planet again." Juno looked down at her, his voice softer now. "You seem so calm. Aren't you afraid?" "I was afraid once," she said, "when I didn't understand what was inside me. But now I know. I was never meant to destroy. I was meant to protect." Leon knelt beside her. "Then what happens next?" "We prepare," Mira said. "Because Earth will hear the signal soon." The passengers murmured, confused and hopeful at the same time. Some began to believe they might go home. The lead soldier stepped closer again. "Command node energy reserves are increasing. Surface stations are now active. Atmospheric shield is online. Shall we prepare orbital communication?" "Yes," Mira said. "Open a channel toward Sol system. Send coded signal to Earth Defense Command. Use original encryption key." The soldier raised an arm. A beam of light shot upward, vanishing into the sky. Juno took a deep breath. "You're contacting Earth?" "Yes," she said. "They will not believe it at first, but they will recognize the code." Mark's voice broke through again. "Captain, communications array is detecting multiple signals returning. I think Earth is already responding." Juno felt a mix of hope and disbelief. "You mean we're not stranded?" "Not yet," Mira said. "But once Earth knows, they will send their strongest to confirm." Hours passed as the sun shifted over the alien world. The soldiers maintained their guard positions. The passengers rested inside the shuttle, trying to process everything. Juno stood near the edge of the platform, watching the glowing city below. The world seemed alive, like it was breathing. He turned as Mira approached. "You should rest," he said gently. "I can't," she replied. "Guardian is still stabilizing the network. It needs my focus." He looked down at her. "You talk like an adult sometimes." She gave a small smile. "Maybe I've lived longer than I look." Juno chuckled softly. "You're something else, kid." Her expression turned distant. "Captain, when we crossed the ring, we didn't just move through space. We moved through time. This planet existed 3 centuries ago. I think we jumped forward." He stared at her in silence. 300 years? "Yes, Earth may have changed more than we imagine." Before he could respond, the soldier approached again. "Command node, external contact detected. Incoming fleet approaching orbit. Identification code matches Earth Defense Fleet." Juno's eyes widened. "They found us," Mira nodded. They heard the call sign. The sky darkened as several bright points appeared above the clouds. The light grew stronger until the shapes of ships became visible, sleek, metallic, and familiar. "Earth-built." The lead soldier turned to Mira. "Awaiting your order." Mira's eyes glowed faintly. "Prepare for contact. No weapons. This is a homecoming." Juno's radio came alive with static. A human voice broke through. "Unidentified shuttle, this is Earth Defense Command. Identify yourself." Juno grabbed the radio. "This is Captain Juno of the civilian shuttle Aurora Star. We experienced an anomaly and are on an unknown world. We request assistance." The reply came after a moment. "Your signal matches no known coordinates. How did you reach this location?" Before Juno could answer, Mira stepped forward and spoke directly into the mic. "This is Command Node 12F, Guardian Core active. Authorization sequence Gamma 317. The radio went silent for a long second. Then another voice, deeper and older, came through. "Guardian 12F. That code was lost centuries ago." Mira smiled slightly. "Not lost. Just waiting." Juno looked out the window at the Earth fleet ships hovering above the atmosphere. He could almost feel their confusion and disbelief. In that moment, every soldier and pilot in orbit saw her signal appear on their screens. The same emblem of wings and stars that once symbolized the Guardian program. For the first time in centuries, the name Guardian. The sky above the alien world glowed faintly as the Earth fleet hovered in orbit. Sleek ships, shaped with precision and power, reflected sunlight off their silver surfaces. From the platform below, Mira watched every movement carefully. Her small hands remained steady at her sides, but her mind raced with calculations and commands. "Captain Juno, is it true?" Leon asked, her voice low, barely above a whisper. "These ships, they are from Earth?" "Yes," Juno replied. They came because of her call sign, Guardian. 12F. The words seemed to hang in the air. Juno turned back toward Mira. She stood quietly, her eyes focused on the distant fleet. It's been a long time since Earth's defense fleet has seen Guardian signals, she said softly. They don't understand yet, but they will. From orbit, the fleet commanders activated their communication panels. Each pilot squinted at the holographic displays. Identification codes flickered across their screens. The emblem of the Guardian program, long erased from official history, appeared in blue and gold. Every veteran pilot froze. Command code matches old Guardian archives, one pilot said in disbelief. But that program was decommissioned 3 centuries ago. Cole, the squadron leader, leaned forward in his seat. Show me the source. The display focused on a single signal, small but clear, emerging from the platform on the blue-gray planet below. The call sign read, 12F. A young girl's voice, calm yet commanding, carried through the intercom. This is Guardian Core 12F. Authorization sequence Gamma 317. Permission granted for orbital contact. The fleet went silent. Experienced pilots who had flown hundreds of missions were unable to speak. The child's voice carried authority stronger than any admiral, stronger than any protocol. Back on the platform, Mira raised her hand slightly. A ripple of light flowed from her palms across the platform, connecting to the alien soldiers around her. Each of them responded instantly. Lights glowed on their armor and the network pulsed as if breathing. Guardian network responding, the lead soldier said. Orbital array now linked. Core authority confirmed. Juno stepped closer. Mira, what happens now? Are they coming down? They are listening, she said. But not attacking. They are waiting for instructions. They want to see who is in charge. The passengers pressed close, awe mixed with fear. A mother held her child tightly, whispering, I don't understand. How can one child do this? Mira turned to her. Because I am not just a child. I carry the Guardian Core. Leon, still in disbelief, asked, but why now? Why did the network awaken only today? The system waits, Mira explained. It waits until the command node is ready, until the last piece of the code is awake, until someone with human compassion can guide it. In orbit, the F-22 pilots stared at their screens. The Guardian emblem and the voice of 12F were unmistakable. Cole's fingers hovered over the console. This is real. The program exists, and it's alive. Alive? Another pilot asked. It's just code. No, Cole said firmly. It's more than that. It's a consciousness built by humans to protect humans, and right now it's inside that child. The fleet shifted slightly, aligning their formations. Sensors detected energy pulses coming from the platform below. Invisible waves of communication spread through the atmosphere. Every signal from the fleet responded automatically, as if recognizing a higher command. Captain, Mark said from the shuttle, our instruments are picking up the Guardian network extending across the planet. It's not just this platform. The entire surface is activating. Juno followed Mira's gaze. The towers and domes on the planet hummed with energy. Light traveled along intricate lines, connecting structures that seemed dormant for centuries. Machines long buried beneath oceans and deserts rose slowly, their surfaces gleaming. They moved with intelligence and purpose, joining the network. Mira focused on the largest structure, a dome-shaped building far across the platform. That is the orbital relay hub. It connects the planet to space. Once it's online, Earth will see the full signal. Juno swallowed hard. Do you know what they'll think when they see it? They will be afraid at first, she said. But they will listen. Guardian does not harm. Guardian protects. From orbit, Cole's fleet finally responded. We need to establish visual contact, he said. Open a channel. Mira extended her hands over the platform. A glowing symbol appeared in the air. Light stretched outward in a beam, forming a connection with the orbiting fleet. The holographic projection shimmered into view, revealing her small form at the center of the glowing network. This is 12F, she said. I am Guardian Core. The network is restored. We request confirmation from Earth Defense Command. Silence followed for several seconds. Then a voice came through, deep and formal. Command Node 12F. Your identification matches historical records. Authorization and command integrity confirmed. Welcome back, Guardian, the passengers gasped. A chill ran through Juno. Even the soldiers around the platform seemed to glow brighter, as if the network itself recognized the voice. Mira nodded slightly. Signal verified. Earth now knows. Prepare for their response. Within moments, the sky above the planet was filled with movement. Ships from Earth's fleet adjusted their positions, forming a protective formation around the platform. Flares of light signaled recognition of the network. The pilots, trained in combat and tactics, hovered in awe as the holographic Guardian emblem projected from the planet's surface. Cole spoke into his mic. This is impossible. It's a child. But the signal, the authority, it is unquestionable. Stand by for orders. Back on the platform, Mira's energy continued to flow outward. The alien soldiers followed her every command. Energy shields rose and shifted to protect the platform from unknown threats. Machines that had been dormant for centuries came to life, aligning with her presence. Juno turned to her. Mira, do you understand what you just did? Yes, she said softly. I restored the Guardian network. I am the command node. I am here to guide the fleet and protect humanity. The passengers exchanged glances, trying to comprehend how a small girl could hold such power. Leon whispered, She is not just a child. She is history come alive. Suddenly, the planet trembled slightly. The light from the towers brightened and a low hum filled the air. Mira's eyes widened. Something is approaching. Something big. Juno followed her gaze. From where? Beyond the outer rim, Mira said. It heard the call. Guardian's signal travels far. Those who fear it are coming. From orbit, Cole's fleet detected unusual readings. Sensors picked up massive objects moving at high speeds from deep space. Their shapes were unfamiliar, but they were intelligent. Every instrument classified them as advanced machinery, not organic life. Cole's voice went tense. They're not attacking, not yet, but they are tracking us. Mira turned toward the platform's edge. We must prepare. Earth must see that Guardian is protection, not a weapon. The soldiers around her moved into defensive formations. Energy shields expanded, surrounding the platform in a protective bubble. Machines continued to rise from the planet's surface, joining the network as guardians themselves. Juno looked at her and asked, How do you do this? You are just a child, but you command everything here. She smiled faintly. I am the child, but Guardian is inside me. The network is alive. It listens to me because I listen to it. That is how protection works. Leon, still amazed, asked, Can it fight? Mira shook her head. It fights only to defend. It does not attack. The signal is a shield. Those who come will understand or leave. Guardian does not kill unless necessary. Cole's fleet hovered above, watching the network spread across the planet. Each pilot could feel the power emanating from the surface. Even without weapons, the signal was enough to command respect. Juno placed a hand on Mira's shoulder. You've done something extraordinary. No human has ever done this before. She looked up at him, serious. I am not doing it alone. Guardian is all around me. I am just the voice. The incoming fleet from deep space grew closer. Strange shapes moved in perfect synchronization. Their sensors scanned the platform, mapping the Guardian network. But they did not attack. Their response was cautious, intelligent. Mira raised her hands once more. Light stretched from her palms, forming a glowing bridge toward the approaching fleet. We do not want conflict, she said calmly. We are here to protect humanity. Return to your stations and observe. The objects paused. Energy pulsed along their surfaces. Slowly, they adjusted their positions, moving in harmony with Guardian's light. Juno watched in disbelief. They are listening. Yes, Mira said. Guardian's signal is more than code. It is respect for life. That is why they obey, even from afar. The platform hummed with energy. The alien soldiers maintained their positions, ready for any command. Machines rose from the oceans, deserts, and mountains connecting to the network. Every pulse carried Guardian's authority. From orbit, Cole's F-22 squadron maintained formation. The pilots could barely believe what they were witnessing. A child controls an entire planetary defense system, one muttered. Cole responded, Not controls, guides. Guardian is alive. And it chose her. Mira's voice echoed across the platform. Earth will see. They will understand. Guardian protects all life. That is our purpose. The sky glowed brighter as the network expanded. Every machine, every soldier, every tower and dome came alive in perfect harmony. The incoming fleet observed, uncertain but curious. The alien world stretched below like a vast network of lights, towers, and machines. Every structure glowed softly, moving with energy that seemed alive. Mira stood on the edge of the main platform, her small hands lifted, directing the flow of power. The Guardian network pulsed beneath her, sending signals toward the approaching fleet and all the satellites that orbited the strange blue-gray planet. Captain Juno and Leon followed her closely. They could feel the energy radiating from her, a calm but immense force. Machines of every shape and size, long dormant, responded instantly to her commands. Some rose from beneath the planet's oceans, others from hidden valleys. They connected to the network and moved as one, guided by her small hands. "This is incredible," Leon whispered. "I have never seen anything like this. It is alive." "Yes," Mira said softly. "Guardian is alive, and it will protect humans again." Juno looked at the sky where the Earth fleet hovered above. Sleek F-22s and larger carriers kept a safe distance, their sensors scanning. The pilots were tense, their weapons ready, but they waited. Every display in the fleet showed the same symbol, a small child, a command corps, and the Guardian emblem. "They're waiting for you," Juno said. "They know it's you," Mira nodded. "They must. My call sign is familiar to them. I only hope they understand it is protection, not a weapon." The network thrummed beneath her feet. Lines of glowing energy ran across the planet, connecting towers and domes to the surface and the orbiting satellites. The light reached upward, forming a bridge of signals between the planet and the Earth fleet. From orbit, Commander Cole adjusted his formation. His F-22 squadron watched the signal grow brighter. "This is unreal," he said. "A single child is controlling a planetary network and our fleet is responding." "Not controlling," another pilot said quietly. "Guiding. That is the difference," Cole nodded slowly. "Guiding. Yes, she is the authority, but it is clear the machines follow willingly." Mira raised her hands and a pulse of light shot into the sky. The fleet in orbit responded, lowering shields slightly and preparing for descent. The pilots looked at one another in disbelief. Each F-22 pilot recognized the call sign from classified archives, a program erased from history but never truly gone. Guardian had survived, and it was alive in the small child below. "Captain," Mark said from the shuttle, "our systems are detecting something. There are new readings from deep space. Not hostile, but intelligent." "Something is approaching." Mira's eyes narrowed slightly. They heard the call. "Guardian signal travels far. Those who fear its power will come." Juno swallowed hard. "Do you mean more ships?" "Yes," she said. "But they are not here to attack. They want to see who is leading." The alien soldiers around the platform shifted into defensive positions. Their glowing eyes scanned the horizon. Machines rose from every corner of the planet. Energy shields expanded to protect the platform, forming a dome that could withstand nearly anything. "Captain," Mira said, "we need to prepare the shuttle. We must return home. Earth will recognize the signal soon, but we must guide them safely." Juno nodded. "Do you think they will believe us?" "They will," she said calmly. "Once they see the network, they will know it is Guardian. And they will respect it." The shuttle Aurora Star stood ready on the platform. Its engines glowed softly. Mira stepped inside first, followed by Juno, Leon, and the other passengers. The alien soldiers saluted as they boarded, acknowledging her authority. The platform hummed beneath them as the network stabilized, ensuring the shuttle could lift off safely. From orbit, Cole watched the descent. "They're boarding." "The child?" "She's bringing them back." Mira activated the shuttle's systems. Lights spread across the floor, walls and ceiling linking the ship directly to the Guardian network. The engines responded instantly. Guided by the pulse of energy flowing from her hands, the shuttle lifted off smoothly, rising above the glowing platform, leaving the alien soldiers and rising machines behind. The passengers clutched their seats, amazed by the sight below. Machines of every size moved in perfect harmony, rising and connecting to the network. Towers glowed with lines of energy, reaching into the sky like fingers of light. The air outside shimmered as if the planet itself was alive. "Look," Leon whispered. "It's like the planet is waking up." "Yes," Mira said. "And it remembers humanity. Guardian has waited for this day for centuries." The shuttle rose into the upper atmosphere. Outside, the Earth fleet adjusted its position. Pilots exchanged astonished glances. Even the most experienced F-22 pilots had never seen anything like this. The signal from Guardian was more than just code. It was authority, intelligence, and presence all at once. Cole spoke into his microphone. "All units maintain formation. Observe the signal but do not engage. That is an order from command." We are witnessing something beyond our understanding. Mira guided the shuttle toward the outer edge of the planet's atmosphere. Lines of energy stretched behind her, forming a glowing path. The network pulsed in response, extending its reach toward Earth's orbit. Suddenly, deep space sensors picked up movement. Advanced ships, massive and unfamiliar, approached the system. They moved in formation, scanning the network with intelligence, not hostility. Mira's eyes narrowed. They came because of the signal, she said. They know Guardian is active. Juno looked worried. Do they mean harm? Not yet, Mira replied. But they are curious. Guardian protects, but it also commands respect. They will wait to see if we are worthy. From orbit, the Earth fleet maintained position. Every pilot could see the signal connecting the shuttle to the planet and the approaching ships. Sensors detected massive energy readings unlike anything built on Earth. Cole's squadron remained tense but ready. The shuttle moved carefully along the path guided by the Guardian network. Mira's hands glowed as she synchronized the ship with the energy lines from the platform below. The alien soldiers watched silently, their lights pulsing with each adjustment she made. Prepare for orbital transfer, Mira instructed. We must return to Earth safely, but the network must remain active until contact is fully established. The engines roared as the shuttle accelerated, following the glowing path. Juno gripped his seat tightly. I never imagined a child could do this, he said. Neither did I, Leon replied. But she isn't just a child. She is Guardian. Outside, the alien world grew smaller. Lines of energy continued to pulse, spreading across the planet. Machines moved in perfect synchronization, guided by her presence. The sky shimmered with light as the planetary network extended outward. In orbit, the Earth fleet continued to watch. The pilots could see the pathway of energy, the glowing emblem of Guardian, and the small shuttle moving along it. Each pilot recognized the significance of the call sign. Guardian had returned, and it was guiding humanity once more. Mira's voice echoed through the shuttle. We are ready. Earth will see us, and the fleet will understand. The planet below began to fade from view as the shuttle entered orbital transfer. The network remained active, its light stretching toward the stars. The approaching ships observed, but did not intervene. They seemed to respect the Guardian authority, recognizing the presence of the command node. Juno looked at her. What happens when we reach Earth? Mira's eyes were steady. They will stand at attention. Not because of rank, but because they understand what Guardian is. Humanity created it to protect itself. And now it has returned. The shuttle continued along the energy path, moving faster as the network guided it. The Earth fleet followed cautiously, keeping formation around the shuttle. Pilots watched silently as the signal spread across the planet, reaching satellites and orbital stations. Cole's voice came through. Command, this is Cole. We are in visual range of the incoming shuttle. Identification matches historical Guardian archives. Authorization confirmed. The pilots stared, their hands hovering over the controls. Every instrument on their ship showed the same reading. Guardian was active, and its authority was undeniable. Mira's hands glowed brighter, connecting the shuttle directly to the Guardian network. The energy pulsed in waves, spreading across Earth's orbit. Every satellite and station detected the signal. It was not a weapon. It was protection. It was reassurance. Earth will recognize us now, Mira said softly, and they will know that Guardian is here to protect, not to harm. Juno nodded. You've done something extraordinary. No one else could have done this. Mira looked out the window, her expression calm but determined. Guardian is alive because humans created it, and it survives because we never gave up hope. That is why I am here. The shuttle approached Earth's orbit. The planet appeared beneath them, its familiar blue and green surface glowing under the sunlight. The Earth fleet moved closer, forming a protective path for the shuttle to descend. Cole's voice echoed across the comms. All units prepare for landing support. Guardian signal is confirmed. Follow protocol but respect authority. This is a unique situation. Mira's small hands rested on the console. Prepare for final approach, she said. Earth will see Guardian again, and humanity will stand together once more. The glow of the Guardian network surrounded the shuttle as it descended toward Earth. The alien world faded behind them, leaving only the memory of a planet restored by a child who carried a command core within her. Earth's atmosphere shimmered as the shuttle descended. The sun reflected off its metallic surface, and the Guardian signal glowed faintly around it. Every F-22 pilot in orbit adjusted formation, keeping a respectful distance. They had never seen anything like this before. The small child inside the shuttle carried authority more powerful than any commander they had ever known. Captain Cole watched from the lead fighter. All units maintain position. Observe but do not interfere. That is an order from command. Inside the shuttle, Mira's hands rested lightly on the console. Her eyes scanned the horizon, calm and determined. She had guided the fleet, stabilized the network, and ensured that every machine on the alien world remained connected. Now she had only one task: land safely on Earth and complete her return. Juno leaned forward. "You're about to see home again. Do you feel nervous?" Mira shook her head. "No, Guardian has prepared for this. Earth will recognize the signal. Humanity will understand." The shuttle glided through the upper atmosphere, leaving a trail of soft light behind. Satellites in orbit picked up the Guardian signal immediately. Alerts flashed across command centers, airfields, and military stations worldwide. On the ground, air traffic controllers watched the readings in disbelief. The signal carried authority, precision, and clarity, unlike anything they had ever encountered. It was human, yet far beyond human technology. "Identify the source," one controller shouted. A senior officer spoke calmly. "It matches Guardian archives. But that program was decommissioned over 300 years ago. They say a child is inside the shuttle," another officer added. "Do you believe it?" Before anyone could respond, the shuttle stabilized over the primary landing zone designated for high-priority arrivals. Energy from the Guardian network formed a protective dome around it, ensuring a safe landing. The metallic surface of the shuttle reflected the lights from Earth's airfields below. Cole's fleet hovered above, scanning the descent. Even the veteran pilots could feel the difference. The signal from the shuttle was not a weapon. It was authority, intelligence, and a deep sense of protection. "Commander," one pilot said, "it's guiding us, not threatening us. It knows we're here, but it doesn't fear us." Cole nodded. "That's Guardian. The program was designed to protect humanity, and it knows its purpose. That child, she is its voice." Inside the shuttle, Mira spoke quietly to Juno. "Prepare the landing. The network will maintain stability, but we must be precise. Every movement counts," Juno nodded. "Understood." The shuttle descended slowly, guided by the Guardian energy that extended from its core. Machines, lights, and sensors synchronized perfectly, forming a bridge between the sky and the landing zone. Every F-22 pilot watched in awe as the path glowed like a ribbon of light leading the shuttle home. Passengers inside the shuttle clutched their seats, excitement and nervousness running through them. They could feel the immense power of the Guardian network, yet it was gentle, calm, and protective. Leon whispered, "It's like the shuttle is alive." "Not alive," Mira corrected softly. "It is Guardian's voice, and I am its command node." As the shuttle approached the landing zone, Earth's air defense systems prepared for verification. Military personnel stood ready, their eyes fixed on the descending craft. Yet when the Guardian emblem appeared in the sky, every soldier instinctively knew that this arrival was not a threat. Cole's voice came over the comms. "All units confirm visual identification. Signal matches archived Guardian profile. Authority confirmed. Maintain formation." The F-22 pilots in orbit lowered their weapons slightly, keeping their positions but acknowledging the power of the signal. They were trained for combat, yet they knew they were witnessing something beyond war. Mira guided the shuttle gently. The landing zone glowed beneath her, a soft reflection of the network's energy. The engines adjusted automatically, balancing against atmospheric resistance. The Guardian dome around the shuttle shimmered, creating a protective shield as it descended. Juno leaned forward. "This is incredible. I've never seen anything like this," Mira smiled faintly. "You will. Guardian has waited for this moment for centuries." The shuttle touched down smoothly. The landing zone vibrated slightly with energy, but there was no damage. The dome dissipated as the engines powered down. Silence fell over the area, broken only by the soft hum of the shuttle's systems cooling. The airfields around the landing zone were filled with soldiers, engineers, and pilots. Everyone stared at the small girl who had just guided a fleet, controlled a planetary network, and returned safely from another world. Mira unbuckled her seatbelt and stepped forward. Juno and the passengers followed. The shuttle doors opened automatically, revealing her to the world. Cole led the F-22 squadron down, positioning the aircraft in formation around the shuttle. The pilots stood at attention as Mira stepped onto the tarmac. Their weapons were lowered, their eyes filled with respect. "Commander Guardian," Cole said, his voice steady. "You have returned. We recognize your authority." Mira looked at him calmly. "I am not here to command humans. I am here to protect. Guardian protects all life, especially humanity." The pilots remained at attention, a sign of respect not for rank, but for the authority and purpose they recognized. News crews, military officials, and civilians watched in amazement. A child had returned carrying the oldest and greatest Guardian Corps, a protector from history. Juno stepped beside her. "Mira, this is extraordinary. You guided the fleet, controlled the network, and returned safely. Humanity owes you more than we can express." Mira nodded. "I did not do it alone. Guardian has always been alive. It is the network that protects, and I am just the voice it listens to." The soldiers and pilots watched as the shuttle's energy dome dissolved completely. Machines from the alien world no longer followed. The network was now fully stabilized on Earth's systems. The Guardian emblem glowed faintly in the sky, a symbol of protection and hope. Cole addressed the formation again. "All units acknowledge Guardian. This child is the link to a program thought lost. Stand at attention. Respect the authority of Guardian 12F. Every pilot and soldier complied. F-22 pilots, veterans of countless missions, stood rigid, saluting the small child who had achieved what no human could. Mira's gaze swept over the crowd. Soldiers, civilians, and engineers alike watched her with awe. She raised her small hand, a gesture of reassurance. "Guardian does not harm. Guardian protects. Remember that. Humanity created this to defend life, and that purpose remains." A low hum began across the landing zone. Earth's satellites detected the Guardian network, confirming full synchronization. The systems that had been dormant for centuries now carried energy and intelligence across the planet. Juno watched, amazed. "It's like the planet itself is responding to her." "Yes," Mira said softly. "Guardian is alive wherever humans exist. It waits for the call, and it responds when needed." The F-22 pilots remained in formation until the network signals were verified and stabilized. Then slowly they lowered their salute, knowing they had witnessed something eternal. Mira turned toward Juno. "Captain, Earth is ready now. The network is secure. Guardian's purpose continues," Juno smiled. "You've given humanity a second chance, Mira. Not by force, but by courage and wisdom." Leon stepped forward. "You've made history. Everyone will remember this day." Mira looked out at the sky. "History is not what we remember, but what we protect. Guardian will always be here to protect humanity. That is its promise." The world slowly returned to its rhythm. Airfields resumed normal operations. Pilots returned to their carriers. Engineers checked systems. Yet above them all, the Guardian signal glowed faintly, a reminder of what had just happened. For the first time in centuries, humanity had seen Guardian in action, not as a weapon, but as a protector, guided by the small child who carried the command core within her. Cole walked beside Mira. "I've flown countless missions, but I've never felt such respect for life. You've reminded us what humanity can create." Mira smiled faintly. "Guardian exists because humans never stopped caring. That is why it listens. That is why it protects." The passengers who had traveled with her watched in awe. Their fear had transformed into wonder. A child in C-12F had become the voice of humanity's oldest Guardian. Juno placed a hand on her shoulder. "You did it, Mira. You brought Guardian back." "Yes," she said softly. "And Guardian will always be here, watching, protecting, guiding humanity when needed. That is its promise. That is my promise." The sun set across the landing zone, casting long shadows of machines, soldiers, and pilots. The glow of the Guardian network shimmered softly in the sky. Humanity had witnessed the return of its greatest protector, led not by power, but by the courage and wisdom of a small child.